Hello once again everyone, welcome back to another discussion video. Once again, I'm back with the Batman comics, and this time around I'm going to be discussing the Detective Comics line of stuff. So in the first volume it's called Faces of Death, and this particular issue tackles Batman going against this new villain called Ragman. Or Dollmaker. Yeah, it was Dollmaker, innit? Yeah, Dollmaker. Who's a very creepy guy because he sort of takes his victims and takes them apart and stitches them together to make horrible creations kind of deal, and that's how he makes his own family sort of deal, is taking them apart and putting them together. And so in the first half of this, Batman goes against him, as well as Joker, who's sort of come back into Gotham and is sort of then targeted by sort of Ragman, but he also uses Ragman to escape kind of deal, and shows his own face getting taken off. And then the latter half of this issue is Batman going against the Penguin and some other villains trying to sort of target Penguin and take their money and stuff. Take Penguin's money as well as his other people's money, sort of subordinates' monies. But yeah, it really was quite an interesting volume. I read it actually like a month or two ago when I first got it, so yeah, it was. But yeah, I really enjoyed discovering the new villain in the times of the Dollmaker. So yeah, highly recommend that. And then in Scare Tactics, it's Batman against this guy called Mr. Toxic, who's sort of like this guy who's critically ill, and so he's sort of like, he's looking for a cure for himself, and he uses sort of centrifugic the like Hadron colliders to sort of investigate ways of curing himself. So trying to find a solution, and this actually sort of is damaging to other people. It kills a lot of people in trying to find this sort of cure. And then also sort of briefly goes against Black Mask / Mad Hatter, who are trying to fight against get this power and stuff, and take on the museum. And then it also sort of goes back to a training issue where you learn how Batman is trained in sword fighting kind of deal. And then the last stuff is him going against Two-Face, possibly. It's like Two-Face's own sort of comic stuff. And then in the third volume we have Emperor Penguin, where obviously by the state of it is Batman goes against the Penguin, and sort of, as well as Poison Ivy / Clayface, who sort of make up a team, and Poison Ivy's like wanting to go against Penguin stuff. And Batman eventually takes down the Penguin, in terms of, because Penguin sort of is involved with Death of the Family stuff, so he takes him down, this comic, but he has also got him battling against these wannabe Jokers who are sort of inspired by the Joker to become villains, as well as it introduces a new character called Emperor Penguin, who's not really new. He's like a lieutenant to the Penguin, and because the Penguin goes away, he sort of takes over Penguin's organization and stuff, which is quite interesting, and how he does that, and he sort of teams up with Poison Ivy and stuff, and the Penguin wants to get vengeance, and that's how Batman captures him, is Penguin like slipping up. And then in the final volume that I've got so far of Detective Comics is called The Wrath, where Batman goes against this villain called The Wrath, which is a guy who specifically targets the Gotham police force, as well as he does go against Emperor Penguin at the start, who sort of uses the Man-Bat serum to create himself and to be better, kind of deal, stronger. That's at the start. And you also learn the sort of origins of Man-Bat, the Kirk Armstrong stuff, which is quite interesting. But yeah, and then you also got like a villain who is able to replicate people, like take their lives. But yeah, the latter half is him going against the Wrath, who's a very similar villain to Batman himself, because he has this upgraded suit, and so I think he's got a power suit. He's got a similar origin story to Batman, where his father's killed by a police officer because he steals something, and so that's why he wants to take out the police force, because he feels like they don't necessarily mean justice, even though they are a lot cleaned up now in at this time, sort of thing. So and I think because his father steals some diamonds and he got a hold of those diamonds, he sort of creates himself a company and raises it from the ground up, and is now quite a powerful corporation where he supplies arms and armour and stuff like that to the police force, because he also is going against him, and he's quite an interesting villain, having a lot of tech behind him. So yeah, he's quite well matched against Batman, but again Batman wins and manages to take him down. So yeah, and the Detective Comics is sort of more sort of Batman being detective potentially, and taking out investigating villains and doing that rather than just sheer brute force. Again, other comics do have him being a detective as well, but it also has him in a more brawling dark style, whereas this is definitely got him being quite intelligent about the ways he's trying to figure out of taking down his villains and stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend you guys read that, and that's all I've got to say about them. So I'll see you guys next time for another video. Peace out, Girl Scouts.